Hello everybody, this is Howard, the Teaserking, talking to you a little about baseball, basically managing, coaching, and all that. Um, Basically, I played baseball from the time I was 5 till the time I was about 30. I played hardball through high school, pony colt. I played a lot of baseball. Then I played softball as a 16-year-old in a men's league until I was 30, 35, somewhere around there. I don't remember exactly when I quit, but it was a long time. I understand the game. I've managed, I've coached, and even when I played, I knew how to manage and coach. So the topic of this is basically the Tigers. I live in Detroit. Brad Asmus, and that he could be one of the worst managers I've ever seen in my life. He gets zero baseball IQ. He doesn't understand anything. He can't manage the pitching. He can't manage the hitting. He can't manage the defense, the base running. I've never seen anything as bad as this guy. Let's talk about batting first. His batting order is the worst I've ever seen. The idea in batting is to bat the best players in the top of the lineup because you want them to bat more times than the worst players. So I want my leadoff hitter. He's basically somebody who's going to get on base a lot, but he's basically somebody who is going to get the most appearances. I want him at the plate the most because he's one of the best hitters, average hitters. You'll see it like Miami, D. Gordon, or you'll see Cleveland with Kipnis. So you see where these 330, 340 hitters, they bat leadoff. They get on base all the time. They're great singles hitters. That's what you want. And you want them out the most because they're going to get the most hits. So I want the guy who's hitting the ball to bat first. And hopefully he's got a little speed, and then he can maybe steal a base, but then he can get over to second and score on a single, for the 3, 4, 5 hitters. But the Tigers don't do that. First they had Ghost batting first. Now when he was hitting 330, it looked good, and then when his average dropped to 260, he's really hitting 200. You got to get him out of there. Then there's Kinsler, who's terrible. I don't see where this guy's got any skills hitting. Maybe he'd be 4. Granted, at Texas, at different places, he's a 300 hitter. Here he's hitting about 200. I mean, he was hitting about 320, and now he's hitting 260. So you got to look at it. Now he's hitting 260 means he lost 60 points. So maybe at best he's a 200 hitter. You have to change. You have to take him out of the leadoff spot. When he's hitting 300, yes, he's a leadoff hitter. When he's hitting 200, he's not a leadoff hitter. I don't want this guy batting that much. Then you got Iglesias, a 330 hitter basically, batting 9th. So I don't want him up too often, but he's hitting 330. Makes no sense. He's your leadoff hitter at this point because he's getting the hits. He's hitting 330 consistently. You bat him leadoff. And I'm tired, like if I talk to people, well, he doesn't like batting first. He's comfortable batting 9th. Well, let's just say you're a major league player and I want you to bat first, and it's not up for discussion. Get your hits, hit your 330. That's what you're getting paid for. You think Billy Martin or Earl Weaver, Bill Belichick, Bill Parcells, any of these guys would take this crap? They'd say, you're leading off, you're my 330 hitter. So he should be leading off. Your second hitter, now with Cabrera hurt, your second hitter is Cespedes, very good. I'd almost make him the leadoff hitter when Cabrera's back, because I want that guy up all the time. Then you got your third hitter, Victor Martinez, fine. Maybe it could be J.D. Martinez third and Victor Martinez fourth. Probably be even better. J.D. Martinez is just ripping the cover off the ball. He's probably hitting about 340, 350 in the last month, just like Cespedes. So I might want those two guys back to back. So I'd probably want J.D. Martinez third, Victor Martinez fourth, who's hitting about 240, but he's coming on. Then somebody needs to explain to me the fifth hitter of Alex Avila. The guy's hitting about 200. He's not even a major league hitter. How do you protect the hottest hitter in baseball, J.D. Martinez, with a 200 hitting catcher that, if there's any pressure, strikes out. I don't understand. Why would you bat this guy fifth? First of all, why is he in the lineup? Secondly, why is he batting fifth? If you have to play him, he bats ninth. He only hits 200. Your worst hitter's got to bat ninth. I don't get, why would you bat him fifth? So I would walk the fourth hitter, Martinez. If he's fourth and Avilia's fifth, I would never pitch to the fourth hitter. I'd walk him every time and say, here you go. There you go. I'm not going to let him beat me. He's the hottest hitter in the league. He's not going to beat me. Avilia, the 200 hitter, is the guy I want to pitch to because I'm going to get him out because he never hits. Then you got, I think, Castellano 6, who's starting to hit. I think he's up to 240, so he's getting better. Then you got this catcher McCann. He's hitting like 280. Why is he batting 6th? Then they got the center fielder Ghost or Davis batting 7th. And then I don't remember their 8th hitter. And then their 9th hitter is Iglesias, the 330 hitter. So if you have Avilia even playing, which I wouldn't, if I'm the manager, he's not even on the team. He's, and if the father is the GM or is one of the vice presidents forces me to have it, he sits on the bench. He doesn't get off the bench. He'll be a pinch hitter against the righty in the 7th, I don't know, in the 8th or 9th inning. But that's it. Very rarely is he playing. I don't want him on the team. He doesn't hit. And if I don't accept minor leaguers on my team, and I don't accept guys that don't hit. That's my rules. When I coached my daughter's fast pitch teams, the girls who hit batted first, second, third, fourth, fifth. The girl who couldn't hit batted last every game. That's what you do. You don't want them up because they don't hit. Why do I want? That's the batting order. You're supposed to bat. The guys with the average should be batting higher up. So anybody, if he and then he doesn't get, the thing that really bothers me about Asmus, some guy get on a streak. Last year it was Kinsler. This year Cabrera. Cabrera's playing Cleveland. And he bats like 500 against them. And what does he do? He sits them out. It's like, you idiot. You don't sit him out when the guy's on a streak. You sit him out when the guy's in a slump. When the guy's 0 for 20 and his averages just went from 300 to 270, like a Kinsler, like a Goose, you get him out of there. That's when you sit him down for 2 or 3 days. You relax. You're obviously tired. You don't sit the guy down when he's on fire. That's like you're in Vegas at the crab table and you throw 5 passes in a row and you say, well, yeah, I'm gonna pass the dice. No, nobody in the world would do that. It's insane. This guy is so stupid. So everybody on a hot streak, he takes out and sits down. Rule number 1: you're on a hot streak, you play it out. You never ever end the streak by sitting the guy down. It's insane. The guy has no concept of streaks, of winning, of losing, of anything. So you never take the guy out when he's on fire. You leave him in until he basically starts going hitless a couple times. Then you rest him because now he's tired. And I'm tired of hearing it's a long season. That's bullshit. It's baseball. You play it for a few hours a day. These guys are professional athletes. They got nothing else to do but play baseball. So you sleep all night. You take a hot tub. You take a little workout in the gym. You show up at the ballpark, rested, relaxed. You've got millions of dollars. You have no stress. You have no pressure. You should be able to go and enjoy. And only the guys who love to play with passion are on my team. I'm really tired of these guys. They draft them, and because of their physical skills, but they don't have the brain and they don't have the heart to play it, they're not on my team. Those are not the players on my team. So the guy has no concept of batting order. He has no concept of when to pull the guys, and pulls the guys when they're hot. He lets guys who average, like Kinsler's, went from 320, 330 to 260. He's hitting about 190. Get them the hell out. You sit them out for a week. You say, okay, you're not playing well. Get them out of there. Okay, you need him for second base. I'd go to the GM and say, get me an infielder. This is ridiculous. You should have an extra infielder to play second base. It's not that hard. I played it. Come on, don't go there. It's not that hard to get a second baseman. You should be able to have a utility guy who plays short, third, second. I think Romine on this team does, and he can play second for 3-4 games while Kinsler figures out how to hit again, or he's tired, or whatever it is. He doesn't know how to pinch hit people. He doesn't know how to pinch run people. He doesn't know how to use his roster. You got to know who's your fast guys, and that's your pinch hitters or pinch runners. But that only you really don't pinch run that much. Only if it's 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th and the guy's on second, maybe you pinch run. You don't start pinch running Victor Martinez and Cabrera in the 6th, 7th inning. You don't put in the defensive replacements in the 6th, 7th inning. Put them in the 9th inning. That's it. Well, come on, Howard. Why don't you put him in the 7th? Because you need the bats. Unless this guy can bat, unless he's like your left-handed left fielder and your right-handed left fielder, and the pitcher switches, but they're all pretty good defensive players. Okay, I can see switching. You don't want the lefty hitting the lefty, so you bring in the righty left fielder to hit, if that's what you have. But otherwise, you don't pinch run these guys. This isn't girls softball. You pinch run the pitcher if you're in the National League. You don't pinch hit you pinch run your 3-hitter, your 4-hitter, your 5-hitter ever, unless there's nobody out and he's on third and he's the winning run. Would I do that? Because you can't afford to take him out of the game. You need the bat. And the reason is because you don't think. You've got to understand you have no pitching on this team. The pitching's terrible except for David Price. Soria's okay. In between that, you have nobody. So they're not going to hold a lead. So you can't take your star hitter out. You have to understand the whole concept of the team. You've got to understand who you have. So it's ridiculous that he doesn't get that. He never pinch hits. Now, I can see pinch hitting your center fielders. You got Rajay Davis and Goose. Well, okay, I can see pinch hitting one of those late in the game. A lefty comes in to pitch to Goose, you bring in Davis. That should be automatic. You can't pinch hit Romine, he's terrible. You can't pinch hit Avila, he's a minor leaguer. McCann should be playing, he shouldn't be on the bench. Okay, the day off thing, but not consistently. He plays Avila when he shouldn't be. He should never play that guy. Guy shouldn't even be on the roster. He's a 200 hitter, so that boggles my mind anyway. To see the guy playing is ridiculous. You've got to understand your players. I mean, the guy sucks. I can see that. I have obviously a higher IQ than this manager. He loses so many games with the pitching. Let's talk about the pitching now. So you have this pitch count, which is absolutely insane. I pitched when I was younger. I didn't need a pitch count. I could pitch all day. I mean, the thought of a pitch count's absolutely idiotic. It makes no sense at all. Nobody gets tired playing baseball. I always use the Tom Brady analogy. Do you pull Tom Brady late in the 4th quarter with 5 minutes left because he's tired? And the answer is, of course not. So why do you pull these pitchers? Because you assume they're tired because they've thrown 100 pitches or 110 pitches or 120 pitches? You out of your mind? These guys, well, back in the day, they'd throw double headers, the pitcher. I mean, who's that guy? What's his name? Cy Young. He pitched a double header. Look at Madison Baumgartner. He pitched on 2 days rest, a full, complete game. What are you talking about? So you got a pitcher that they can't hit. So here's my pet peeve. The pitcher comes in, and he's shutting them out. He basically has a 2-hitter going, shut out. The other team, now the psychology of the other team is going, oh shit, we can't hit this guy. Oh my God, this guy's unbelievable. We can't hit him. And, you know, they go up there and they know they're going to get out. Let's say David Price is this, or Scherzer. And then all of a sudden, the pitch count's 110. But even though the guy's still pitching well, maybe he gives up a bloop single or something. Okay, you don't take him out, you keep him in there. Because, first of all, you don't have anybody in the bullpen as good as David Price. Secondly, the other team knows they can't hit him. So therefore, they're not going to, they're screwed. They know it. But if you take him out for one of these idiot relievers that they have, what do you think the other team does? They sit there and go, "Oh my God, this Price is out. We're going to get hits," and it's just the guy doesn't get the psychology. Now, it's different if you have Mariano Rivera in the bullpen. You have Dennis Eckersley in the bullpen. You have Raleigh Fingers in the bullpen. Go ahead and make the change because the guy in the bullpen's a great pitcher. So all bets are off in that situation, and you bring him in and let him pitch the 8th and the 9th or the 9th. That I would totally agree with. Okay, Soria is a pretty good reliever. He's a pretty good closer. He's been pretty good this year. But you don't take the guy out in the 7th inning because you don't have a guy in the 8th inning. And this situational relieving is absolutely the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. If a guy's hot and he's in the 7th inning, so let's say you pulled your starter after 5 because he's an average Joe. Let's say like Verlander, who can't Verlander should be in the bullpen. He's terrible right now. Yeah, he had a good game yesterday against Minnesota. It's a matchup thing. Against all the other teams, he's like a fire hose. He can't really get, he gets people out for a couple innings, which is why he should be in the bullpen. So if you had Verlander to come in and pitch the 7th and 8th, Soria to pitch the 9th, I'd say, yeah, you can take your starter out in the 6th because you got better pitching coming in. Verlander's good for an inning or two. That's fine, but he can't go more than 3 or 4. Like I said, yesterday was a matchup thing. He's got Minnesota's number. That's fine. But against most of the other teams, he's not going to do this. You watch. I keep betting against him. I bet against him since last year, and I've won every bet. I got lucky yesterday to win, but basically Verlander's ERA 6 or 7, but the line isn't adjusted to him. He's still the favorite. It's a joke. But anyway, so you don't pull your pitcher. I don't want to hear you're tired. This is like Tom Brady. This is Peyton Manning. This is football. You telling me they don't get more tired in football than in baseball when the guys are being sacked and pressured? They throw the ball 50, 60 times a game? Are you kidding me? So I can throw 60 footballs under pressure, but I can't throw 100 baseballs with no pressure? I don't think so. Not when I don't play for 5 days after that. That's my other argument. If you're going to not pitch the guy for 5 days, this guy should be throwing 200 pitches when he pitches because he's got 5 days to rest. And you're not rooting. Your arm doesn't wear out. That's bullshit. It doesn't happen. My arm didn't wear out. I can still pitch. I can pitch tomorrow. It's absolutely baloney. You only have so many pitches in your arms. Absolutely baloney. And you pitch mostly with your legs and your hips and your big muscles anyway, so it's a bunch of garbage. The other thing that this Asmus does that is minor league or not even really a manager, let's take the game today. Here's this simple Simon pitching for the Tigers. And he goes and he gives up 3 runs in the 2nd inning. I don't know, 4 or 5 hits. I just read the box score. So I see what he did and I go, why did he pitch the 3rd inning? If a pitcher gives up 4 or 5 hits and 3 runs in an inning, he's out. But what does he do? The guy comes in and he pitches the 3rd inning and gives up 4 more runs. The guy gave up 7 runs and he didn't even complete the 3rd inning. Now, a good manager would say, this guy doesn't have it today. He's not a very good pitcher. He's been struggling the last 4 times out. And as you give up 3 or 4 hits, you pull him. You can't leave him out there because he loses. The manager just cost the team the game by leaving him out there to go 7 runs in 2 2/3 innings. Now you're out. You've given up 7 runs. This is baseball. You don't give up 7 runs. If they get 3 or 4 hits off of him, you pull the pitcher. He's gone. Unless even David Price, even Cy Young, even I don't know whoever. Let's choose it, Nolan Ryan. You give up, like Sandy Koufax. You think he ever gave up 3 runs in an inning? I mean, I don't think he did. I'm sure he did at points, but most of the time when he's on, he's striking everybody out. So you've got to understand this pitcher, and you've got to see. Wait a minute. First of all, he's not very good. The last 4 games. He's given up 3 runs in 1 inning, and you've got to have a short leash on him, pull him. And I'll compare him to a hack quarterback in, let's say, college football. He gives up 2, 3 interceptions in the first quarter. He's out. I mean, he gives up 2 interceptions. He's out. I don't leave him in the whole game so he throws 7 interceptions and my team loses, because I can't afford to take that kind of loss. Well, in baseball, I can't afford this guy to give up 7 runs in 2 2/3 inning and lose the game. I've got to get them out of there. I've got to get these guys, when they start getting hit and they give up more than 2 or 3 runs, you get them out. Why do you leave him in there? So he can pitch 100 pitches to save your bullpen? That's a bunch of BS. You got 10, 11 pitchers in there. And don't say, well, they got to pitch the whole year. That's a bunch of bullshit. These guys are professionals. They got nothing else to do during that time. They come in for an inning. There's no reason that they're going to get all sore and tired at the end of the year, because at the end of the year, you're going to be 20 games back anyway. Does it really matter? It's like a basketball game. When you're down 10 and the guy's in foul trouble, you got to bring him in, because if you're down 25, the game's over. So you can't afford to let the game get out of hand. But Asmus continually lets the game get out of hand. The guy gives up 5 runs, 10 runs. I've never seen where a guy gives up 7 runs, 10 runs. Well, I don't know, it was a couple of days ago, some guy gave up 15 hits. This guy shouldn't be in there giving up 15 hits. Once you give up 5, 6 hits, you're out. I mean, unless they're spread out. But once it's 3 or 4 runs and they're hitting you hard, you're out. They are hitting you. It's not easy to hit a baseball, so if the pitcher can't pitch, he needs to sit down. You bring in the relievers. That's what you have them for. And if you don't have good relievers, you get them out and you bring in some other guys. That's the GM's fault. But he was doing it with Java Chamberlain. He's my 8th inning guy. He sucks. He can't get anybody out. But he's going to come in the 8th. So how many games did the Tigers lose because Java Chamberlain came in the 8th? I go back a few years. How many games did we lose because Valverde came in the 9th? It's insane. Leland was an idiot for doing it. It's fine to do it if you have Raleigh fingers. If you have Mariano Rivera, by all means bring him in the 9th. You cannot bring in these idiots who cannot pitch. They shouldn't even be in the game. And then the other thing is, here's a, okay, let's say that you take out your starter after 3. And this guy comes in and he gets 3 outs. And then he pulls them for some reason. No. This guy's on today. He's just got him out 1, 2, 3. You don't take him out. Like, let's say this guy Albuquerque comes in the 6th inning, gets him out 1, 2, 3. And then he's going to bring in Chamberlain in the 7th inning. Or let's say he does it in the 7th, brings in Chamberlain. No. You keep Albuquerque in the game in the 8th inning because he just got him out 1, 2, 3. He's on. Now, if Albuquerque starts walking guys, you pull him. But when he's on, you just let him keep pitching. What are you saving him for? You don't need to save him. You set it up. If Price is pitching the next day, you don't need the bullpen. You might need the closer Story in the 9th. That's it. But the middle guys, you can pitch that day because you know they're going to get a day off. And I'm sorry, these guys should be able to pitch 1 inning, 2 innings, day in and day out. I did it. There's no problem. I played baseball every day. There's no reason you can't go out and pitch. I'm sorry. I don't want to hear any excuses. They're major league athletes, and if they're not capable, then they should be off the team. Let them go and get somebody else. But all these guys can pitch. There's no reason you can't throw a baseball every day, pitch an inning or 2. Don't tell me it's so mental, all the pressure. Bullshit. No, when you play, there's no pressure. I played. I never felt pressure. I didn't focus on the pressure. I focused on the game. There'd be a lot of people in the stands. I mean, I was in playoff games. We'd have probably 500, 600 people in the stand. I didn't see any of them. I just focused on the game. There's no pressure. And you love to play. If you love to play, you don't care. You don't have to sit me down. If I sat down, I'd be upset. So you don't sit me down. I was an all-star, so it was just no problem with that. I mean, you wanted to play. That's what you enjoyed to do. So you have him taking the pitching and the guy gives up 10 runs, he gives up 4 or 5 hits, 4 or 5 runs, you pull him. Before that, you don't let it get to there. I mean, that's the first problem. Is you're first of all you're losing the game by letting the pitcher pitch 6, 7 innings or give up 6, 7, 8 runs. No pitcher in my team, once he gets back to like 3, and depending on who it is, if it's Price, maybe you give him 3, but that's it. Anybody else, they start getting 3, 4, 5 hits. First of all, I'm going out and calling a timeout. Like in basketball, I'm trying to kill the run, and I've done that in girls' fast pitch before, where my pitcher walked 2 or 3 batters. I'd go out and basically call a timeout and say, "Okay, what'd you have for dinner?" and break the monotony, and then let her go on and pitch. But I basically was taking a timeout like you would do in basketball. You got to bring these other sports into it. And I'm tired of hearing, "Oh, baseball is different." It's not different. It's all about winning and losing. It's all about passion. It's all about intelligence, IQ, like every other sport. And that's how this is. So I don't want to hear, "Well, you can't do this and you can't do that as baseball." That's a bunch of crap. These guys can play. If a guy pitches 3 or 4 days in a row, the point is the ace is going to bail you out because he should go 9 innings. You never take, there should be no pitch count to worry about. This pitch count's the stupidest thing. So you take the pitch count out of it. The guy goes. He goes all 9. My ace is going 9 innings. I don't care. He's not going 7, and I got a reliever in the 8th and 9th, because psychologically the other team knows that he's out, and they're going to hit, and they're going to win the game. And I've seen it happen for years. When I was a kid, I saw it with Denny McLain and Bob Gibson and Sandy Koufax, and I've seen it with Nolan Ryan. And as soon as these guys get out of the game, the other team is happy and hits the hell out of the reliever, because the reliever is not as good. And you don't take Tom Brady out of the game ever. He finishes the game, unless you got a big blowout. So the pitch count's just a joke. You've got to understand your bullpen. You don't bring in a worse pitcher to pitch. These guys should be going 9 innings. Like yesterday, Verlander, why'd you pull him after 7 2/3? He's given up, I think, 3 hits or 4 hits and 1 run. Why are you taking him out? He's tired. That doesn't work for me. And I don't like when Asmus says, "Oh, the player came up to me and said he's tired." You're making $10 million, $20 million a year. You're not tired. This isn't like to quote Under Siege with Steven Seagal. Under Siege 2, he gets shot in the arm, and he goes, "This isn't shot. I'm not shot. I don't feel anything." I'm sorry. Pitchers 7th inning, Verlander, where you going? You're out there. You're still pitching. You're pitching the 7th. I think it was the 7th. You're pitching the 8th. You're pitching the 9th. You're pitching the whole game, because you got 5 days to rest. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear you're tired. Then you better work out harder. You're not tired. You're not coming out of this game. Now, if he starts giving up 2 or 3 runs, I mean, they had a 6-0 lead. He gives up 1 run, fine. Now, if he gives up another 2 or 3 runs, now it's 6-3, fine. I'm bringing in Soria in the middle of the 8th, and then he's pitching the 9th. Fine. That would be my plan. But otherwise, Verlander's going the whole game. They can't hit him. He's finally pitching the way he could. I'm not taking him out of the game. I don't care if the pitch. I don't even want to know what the pitch count is, because I'm not going to even look at it. I'm not going to count it. It doesn't matter to me. I mean, I don't care. You can pitch as much as you want, but I think what happens is it gets psychological. The pitcher goes, "Oh my God, I'm at 100 pitches. I'm tired," or "I'm going to be taken out," and then they are forced to throw more strikes because of the pitch count. So they can't nibble away like a Tom Glavine, like a Greg Maddox, who hit the corners. And they probably pitched 150 pitches a game there, because they'd always nibble the corners. They would never come over the plate, and that's your biggest problem. The guy says, I got to throw a strike. I'm at 90 pitches, and it's terrible. And it's just the stupidest thing in the world. So first, this Asmus, he doesn't know to pull the pitcher when he's giving up 4 or 5 runs. He should be gone. 3 should be the max for all these hacks that they got on the team. But the bullpen, if the guy's hot, you leave him in. You don't need to rest them, because they're big boys and they're professional athletes. And if they're tired, you get them off the team, or you get a training guy in there to work on their legs and their arms, and they pitch longer. Especially in the bullpen. If the guy's hot, you let him pitch a couple innings. And then when the guy, so you got the pitcher who's given up, he's terrible and he's given up 5-6 runs and he leaves them in too long. And then you have the pitcher like Price or Verlander yesterday where they're going along and you take them out and you let the other team get happy because they can't hit the guy and you pull them. I've seen that happen so many times. It's absolutely ludicrous. So he doesn't know how to handle the pitchers. He doesn't understand when they're walking or they're getting hit to take them out now. Don't let them give up 5, 6, 7 runs. No pitcher should give up more than 3 runs. And I don't want to hear the bullpen's tired. No, then you get other guys in the bullpen. Bullpen, these are professional athletes, are not tired. They don't pitch every day, first of all. And to get up and warm up, big freaking deal. I do that all the time. Not a big deal. I don't want to hear that. That's not an excuse. These guys should be well in shape to be able to throw pitches, every day. Maybe they need, if they throw 4 or 5 days in a row, maybe they take a day off. But these are professional athletes. This is what they're supposed to do, supposed to be trained for it. I don't want to hear it. It's all bull. It's not, if you're going to cry about it, then not on my team. So you've got to know who in the bullpen you can rely on, and the other guys shouldn't be played. I mean, you got enough guys in the bullpen. You need to go to your GM and say, get this guy out of here, like Java Chamberlain. He needs to be gone. No. And that's the other thing. And so Java Chamberlain comes in and he keeps blowing games. Why do you keep pitching him in the 8th inning? And then you lose the game because Java Chamberlain comes in and gives up the couple of runs. And it could be anybody. It could be Valverde. It could be, it doesn't matter. If Al Albuquerque, you put him in the 8th inning, and he kept giving up 2, 3 runs every 8th inning, what are you doing? Why do you keep going to this guy? Obviously, this guy can't handle it. He's not a big leaguer. He doesn't have the guts, the soul to get these guys out to fight. He doesn't have the fight. Get him out of here. He's not pitching, or you bring him in the 5th or 6th inning, or you bring him in the 3rd inning when the Simon or this Green, who are just anybody on any team, once they start getting hit and they give up 3, 4 runs, he's out. All right, Albuquerque, you're going to go pitch 2, 3 innings now because this guy can't pitch anyway. I mean, that's what you got to do. So this guy has no baseball IQ. You don't pull the guy who's on a batting streak. You don't pull the pitcher when he's hot, no matter how many pitches he throws. It doesn't matter. He's not going to hurt his arm. He's a big boy. He wants to complete the game. If he doesn't, like Scherzer to me is a wimp. He'd go 7 innings and then, I'm too tired to pitch. I'm sorry, that guy's not on my team. I mean, yeah, he should have pitched the perfect game, but why he threw the ball inside on that guy makes no sense. But he's a loser to me. He doesn't know how to win. In the playoffs, he doesn't know how to win. And you don't pull the guys. And when the guy's going, and there is no such thing as a pitch count. You can pitch all day and all night. I'm sorry, for the money they make, and even if they didn't make any money, for 0. My girls in fast pitch would pitch. They didn't want to come out of the game. They weren't tired. They'd just go and go and go. I mean, it's just crap to hear this. You're making $10 million. Oh, we got to save his arm. For what? So it's all crap. The guy has no concept. He doesn't know how to handle the pitches. He doesn't know when to take them out. He leaves them in too long. If the reliever's hot, he takes him out. If the batter's hot, he takes him out. He plays Avila. He is clueless. This guy, if I was managing this team, they'd be 20 games farther. They'd have 20 more wins than they do now. Absolutely. Because I would never play Avila. I would never screw with the pitchers. And if the pitcher couldn't pitch, he wouldn't see the field. If Chamberlain would not have saw the field, Avila would not have seen the field, because they're the ones losing the game for you. If Chamberlain comes up and gives up 3 runs and you lose the game, because it's the coach's fault for putting the guy in. If I got a quarterback who throws interceptions, it's my fault for playing him. If I got a running back who keeps fumbling, it's my fault for playing him. I got to get this guy off the field. And I don't care if I don't have anybody. I'm not letting a guy go out and fumble or throw interceptions and cost my team the game. We worked too hard for it. And in baseball, you got these hitters that aren't hitting. Get them out. You've got a pitcher that can't pitch. You get him out. You don't bring him in. You don't bring in Chamberlain every freaking time in the 8th inning or whatever he's doing now. Verlander's pitching a big game. He's finally not having 15 runs scored against him. He's got a 5-hit, one-run game going or a shutout. Are you kidding me? That guy's completing the game. There's no way. I don't want to hear it. He can come up to me and say, I'm tired. I'd say, well, then quit screwing Kate Upton, okay? When you're ready to be a big leaguer, then you're finishing this game. There you go. So that would be my point. You're not, there's no way you're doing this. So that'd be my point. It's just, Price, you're pitching complete games. Verlander, if you ever do this again, you're pitching a complete game. On the other hand, when you stink the way you normally do, and it's the 4th or 5th inning, and you start getting pounded, you're out before you give up 2 runs. On the 2nd run, you're out. That's it. And the other thing is, being a catcher and having guys who are on your team. There was a shortstop or third baseman, I can't remember, and he played on the Tigers last year. And they give up like a 3-run homer, like Austin Jackson in Seattle. He gives up a grand slam to Austin Jackson. Now, if you don't know how to pitch to this guy, what the hell are you doing, man? This guy was on your team. You watched him bat for a whole year. And you give up a grand slam to a guy who can't hit a home run, who can't hit half the pitches, who hits 220. You don't know what pitch to throw to him? Oh, my God, are you kidding me? Or there's a game in Cleveland, and the guy is like a 150 hitter, and he has the bases loaded, and he hits a triple and drives in 3 runs to win the game. Are you kidding me? You don't know how to get a 150 hitter out? What are you, your catcher? You used to be. You don't know how to do that? I think the Tigers' pitching coach is terrible. I think that, because the guys in the bullpen never know how to pitch. What's the pitching coach doing? I don't know. I just really, I'm not frustrated. I'm not a big Tiger fan to say. I'm a handicapper. I'm not really a fan of any team because I can't afford to be, but I do watch and I notice and I get emotional about watching quarterbacks throw interceptions, running backs fumble, bad defenses. This whole thing, I think, is a joke. And so basically, when I watch Asmus keep putting in this Avila batting 5th when he should be batting 9th, and Iglesias batting 9th when he should be leading off, and Kinsler, who's hitting about 200 the last 2 months, batting 1st. No, these are all wrong decisions. This is all the manager costing the team games. And then he comes up and says, well, it's a long season. Yeah, but you just cost them 15, 20 games with your idiot lineups, your idiot pinch hitting, your idiot way you're handling the pitchers, and you're not bringing in the bullpen, and you're not letting the starters finish the game, and you're even listening to this pitch count because everybody else does it. Well, you know what happens when everybody else does it, so you do it? You're a loser. And that's the bottom line here. So, anyway, this is the Teaser King. Brad Asmus is not a manager. He's terrible. This Dombrowski I find to be too many weak players on this roster. You never should sign Verlander to a long-term contract. If Price wants a contract more than 2 years, I'd say see you later. I wouldn't sign any pitcher to more than a 2 or 3 year, maybe a 3-year contract at most, because you can't trust the arms. And that would be it. They got it right in football. You're there for a couple years, and if you get injured, you can't play it. Bad. And that's how it should be in baseball. You throw your arm out. You're too busy with your girlfriend. I want my money back, and I would not have offered it in the first place. Nobody gets more than a 3-year contract. If you don't like it, too bad. And if the other managers and owners are that stupid to give a guy a 6 or 7, look at Alex Rodriguez. That long-term contract really paid off. Pujols. Name a contract that's long-term that's ever paid off. So if they want to do it, let them have it. There's plenty of players I can have. But basically, it's just absolutely ridiculous. The bullpen, there's too many weak pitchers on the Tigers. I know. There's too many good pitchers in the league. It's not that hard to pitch. You get guys from UCLA and Arizona and Arizona State and Vanderbilt, and you put them in your farm system for a year, and you get a good pitching coach, and they probably already know how to pitch, and then you bring them up. There's your bullpen. It's not that hard to draft guys out of UCLA, USC, Arizona, Arizona State. No, it's not that hard. I mean, football, I can find quarterbacks all day and night. Alright, everybody, this is the Teaser King. Brad Asmus, Clueless. Alright, have a nice night. I'm going to do a football one real quick.